Hello, hello, hello. It's your new day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Owen, where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one. And maybe it's yours. In our 30 minutes, we talk about your emotions and mind and how they tie into your body and spirit. We want you to renew and restore yourself in a world that wants you crazy. And sometimes we even talk about money. Introducing your hosts, Donna Reiners and Dr. Owen. Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Donna Reiners and Dr. And we're back again. And this is your new day where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe today it will be yours. And so we've been talking about self-talk. And I just want to bring to the table now, we don't do a lot of like specific planning like some people do. We really kind of have real discussions, okay? And so this is my personal belief. My belief system is this. I believe that every human being on the planet is born, from those stem cells, as we know, but born with the design of the Christ within, the perfect design. Mm-hmm. And so I get the programming part because I know what happened to me in the womb. But I also believe that we were born from the foundations of the world, like that we've always been alive and will always be alive. And so part of me, I haven't actually transitioned all of this, but part of me believes that because we were born from the foundations of the world, because we were co-crucified, co-buried, co-resurrected with the Christ from the beginning, that we were born perfect, flawless, without any issues. And so that self-talk part, I feel like there's a Christ talk within us that we can lean into. And sometimes it takes a human to point the right direction to help us know, oh, that's there, which is part of my calling, is helping people find the voice inside, How do we explore, because I'm tracking you. How do we explore there's that voice within that leads us into the pathway, which is nothing but righteous and kindness and goodness and the highest good.
Your highest choice, yeah.
But yet, like when I was born, all the negative things that we talked about previously, and the thoughts that were in my mom that were definitely more geared toward depression and sickness and from where they came from. Even though in the 1800s, there's plenty of books about people that lived out of frequency and lived out of the highest choice and taught that. How do you reconcile the workings of all that as we move forward and from that space? Do you get me?
Yeah,
You're one of the few people who get me, so I thought you would get me.
Yes, I do get you.
Do you get me? Do you get us? Do you get what we're saying?
Well, I agree with you in what you said, with a caveat, okay? So, yes, I believe we are born in with our highest potential, but I don't believe that that's actually materially manifested every time we come in, okay? If that was the case, there would be no birth defects at all. If we are born in as completely perfect, as you said. I believe we're perfect at the spiritual soul level, but in the physical manifestation of the body, there's some stuff.
Are those genes then? Or those the RNA and the DNA that you and I have talked about before?
Yes, the RNA, DNA.
And that comes in through the physical of
the downstepping
from the parents or the ancestors, that kind of thing?
All that.
Okay,
so think of the hard drive we were talking about as far as the computer analogy. The hard drive already has, when you buy a computer from the store, it's not wiped clean. It doesn't have a hard drive that has nothing on it. It has an operating system on it.
Okay.
It already has Microsoft's bundle on there.
Right.
Of the program.
Somebody put that on there, but yes.
Yes, somebody put that on there. Yes.
Okay.
So where does that programming come from? Where does that operating system come from? And I believe that it's part of our DNA to be in this time-space matrix, and that's a whole nother conversation we can have.
That'll be fun.
But we are in a 15-dimensional time-space matrix right now. So in this particular place in the cosmos that we are. So that to materialize...
Stay with us, even if that sounds wacky. Yeah. It's not wacko. We'll make sense of things that are going along.
It's not wacko. It's just what has not been taught.
Yeah.
You know, right now everybody knows about the things they know about because that's what's taught in school. That's what's taught in mainstream universities and stuff. That doesn't make this any less valid and true.
That's
it's
right.
just not taught.
And even in the Bible, for those of you who take everything literal, if you really started studying the life of Jesus, do you know that he disappeared in the crowd? How do you know he wasn't like disappearing into another space? I mean, just like the other dude that all of a sudden he's talking to the Ethiopian, then bam, he's gone into another city. Listen, that was available then. It was available before then because every human being was born from the God with God within.
Yes.
And it's available now.
Yes.
It's not taught, and not everybody does it. And people who do it probably don't talk about it because people think they're wacko.
Right. And just like, you know, we're taught there's 5 senses, but there's much more than that. You know, when we talk about telepathy and, you know, I have some people that look at me, oh, that's the occult, that's Satanism, that's all the things. That's self-talk and a belief system.
It's just language.
And what if that's how God made us? What if that's how we are actually programmed and supposed to work without the corruptions and the viruses in the software, and you know, being able to, you know, can have a conversation energetically as well as with our mind, with our, you know, our mind is so powerful in this physical body.
Can I give a quick story?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, she just prompted me. I'm like, oh my goodness, this access. It was probably 20 years ago. I was laying on my couch and I was awake. Now, I've had encounters with my parents and they've been passed for many years while I've been awake. But in this case, I was awake and I saw my body. Okay, please don't turn this off. Just stay with me. Okay, I saw my body do somersaults. And I'm watching myself. And I went up to the ceiling and came down. Well, I went up a little bit and came down. And then I was going up and I was through the ceiling, headed to be through the roof. And I had the most incredible space of joy I've ever had in my entire life. I cannot pinpoint another time that I've ever had this kind of supernatural, natural, amazing joy. And it was so beautiful. And I was laughing, and it was just an encounter with me. And as I was going up through the roof, I thought to myself, well, what if I can't come back home? It was such a fascinating moment with my humanity versus what was happening. And I fell back down on the couch. And do you know, I did not have an encounter like that for many, 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 many years, because I shut that down, not realizing I shut me down. I shut the option down. I shut the dimensions down. And she says we have 15. Who knows? We could have thousands for all we know. She knows about that many. You know what I'm saying? There's so much more to us, and the one within, and the quantum, and everything that we're talking about, and all these world's problems we're trying to solve. There's so much more than meets the eye. And so back to you, Cammie. And I want that back. I want the supernatural joy, and I want to be able to go through walls. I want all that.
Okay, choose it, Donna.
I am, but I remembered. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. But see what I'm saying, it has to do with what you're saying. That's a dimension.
Yes.
That's the dimension I was moving
Yes.
in. And I know people actually who encounter that go into the stars and do all sorts of wacky things. You think we're crazy.
Yes. Well, it's how we're designed. We're spiritual beings inside of a physical manifestation, but that's who we are.
We're explorers.
We are infinite possibility. We are everything you can possibly imagine. And the big message here we're trying to get to you is imagine your highest, best divine self instead of what we're programmed to imagine, that we are the worst of the worst of our version, and that you have that power. You have it. You have it
already.
Yes, it's already there. You just haven't agreed to it yet. You have infinite blessings in your life. You just haven't agreed to them yet. When you have struggles, you're agreeing to the struggle instead of agreeing to the infinite possibility of the highest choice you could make in this manifestation.
In each situation.
Yes, yeah. But what if, just putting a what if out there.
It's exciting. What if?
What if that we know this much of how this physical manifestation, like you were saying, the cosmos and everything, it's all together. But in this matter world we're in right now, this, we'll have a whole conversation about it being a hologram, but today we'll talk about it as matter. That what if, those are just the laws of quantum physics that we haven't been taught. Just like the laws of relativity and all that wasn't explored till, pretty late in our timeline of understanding. I would argue that we are not the most technologically advanced humans that's walked the planet. That's one of that's one of the big, I think, fallacies that most people, when they talk about how did the Egyptians make the pyramids and all that, because we can't do it now. Like, we are the end all be all of everything that ever was known in technology. We're not.
We're
not.
I don't even know
how advanced we're probably preschool.
We've gone backwards, I think.
We're probably in preschool as far as that goes, because we have bought into the programming that we are not all that. We have bought into the programming that we are limited beings. In the Bible, Christ, when he walked the earth, he was showing us who we are.
Yeah.
He was showing us
infinite possibility,
what we're capable of. He is, and I would caution you to think, oh, that's just for them. That was just for Christ and not for me. No, we're in His image.
That's right.
So of course we have access to all of that.
And Father, Son, and Spirit actually live inside of you, says Colossians, for those of you who are wondering what the heck. All three, not just one, all three live inside you. Just breathe that in and breathe that out when we're talking, would you?
Mm-hmm. So we have infinite possibility, and we have infinite availability to what's actually already in existence. It's not voodoo. It's not a cult. It's not any of that. Right. Those are all programming to keep you small and keep you away from your true highest self.
Yes.
Your true highest Christ self. That's what that's all designed to keep you away from that. I've had it's interesting. I have in my office a yin yang picture, and it's very interesting to see the.
What does yin yang mean for those of us?
Well, it's a Japanese or traditional Chinese medicine type of positive and negative, good, bad. The reality of it is, it's actually showing the vortex of how matter and energy move together. But those are all programs to distort what it actually is. But what's interesting to me is, I had a young boy come into the office. His mom brought him in, and there was so much negative programming in that poor child's life from a well-meaning, absolutely adores her child. that's very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also run from fear.
Overprotective.
Like fear is their jam. Everything is judge. No, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. No, this is bad. This is good. Don't let anything into you that might have you question anything. This is how we think. This is how we
Which is the epitome of religion.
Yes, and she's actually very, very religious.
Okay.
Yes. This poor child, he's 11, 12, sitting in my office, and I was doing tuning forks on him, which is just frequency, putting frequency in, and we'll circle back to your orange because I forgot to say something about that. But from last show, he had a little tear running down his face, and I was like, what's going on? And he goes, "Are you from the devil?" And I was like, "What?" No, I am not. I go, "What on earth would have you say that?" He goes, "You have a devil picture on your wall." Like he had been taught just that whole.
Was it the yin yang?
Yeah.
Or was the other picture?
No, just a picture of the yin yang.
Not the tuning fork room then.
No, it was going into the tuning fork room.
Okay.
It's on that wall right there.
Yes.
And he was walking in, and then the response I get from that consciousness picture is a whole nother conversation. But I was so sad for this child.
Yeah.
That he's walking around in this
bubble.
This bubble of fear, and they're out to get you, and all the
fear, doubt, unbelief.
Yeah, and it was so sad, and I was like, no, that's actually a quantum physics picture, and he just he lightened up a little bit, and he became able to trust me, but I said, well, your mom wouldn't bring you to Satan,
That's right.
I believe your mom would not bring you to Satan.
Good response.
But he was really afraid, and I actually had a conversation with his mom. I said, where do you suppose he got that programming?
Picked up that on.
And it was really sad, but it's so insidious. It's so insidious about the good, the bad, and now with social media and just we're all so connected. We're already so connected.
We are.
When you have a thought, it ripples to all of us.
Yes.
Whether or not you realize it, whether or not you even believe it, doesn't matter. It still happens.
And you know why? Because we were all co-crucified, co-buried, co-resurrected together from the foundations of the world. We have always been one. Always. Mm-hmm. Just think about it. We've always been one because we were all together when we were birthed.
Yes. One of the ways it made sense to me, may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me. If I look at my hand, and this is the one, this is all of us, and then it splits out into all these fingers. Think of every one of these fingers as every individual person, but it still all comes back to the one.
That's right.
But then you can picture, where we are in the down step of consciousness. Think of this thumb is way stretched down here. It's still attached, but it's this long thumb. It's still connected, but it's so dense and it's so far away, and that's what we forget. We forget that there's a line, and it's just like ET phone home, unless it's the Mandela effect and it's ET home phone, but that's another timeline thing. But we're all connected. So, when you see that person over there that you are judging, like righteously judging that they have too short of a skirt on, look, I can see her cleavage, all the things.
Right.
You're judging you.
Yes.
You're judging you. And if you could just stop and know that is a divine being over there, and see that divine being's perfection rather than they're not. And I would also argue that I would say that what you're reflecting back is just a mirror of your negative self-talk
and your fears.
Yes.
Because you can't control something. So when we started episode 1, we went, well, not one, but the previous show, we talked about the levels.
Yes. So the first level, let me just
Through
recap.
those. Okay.
Let me recap those.
Because I'm thinking, are we at 3 or 4 with I am?
We're about to go to 4.
Because this is great.
Yes. So the first one is negative agreement. I can't, I won't.
And go back and listen to
I
it. If you
can't.
watch it if you haven't.
I won't. You know, I'm dumb. I'm not smart.
Yep.
All those things. And then I can't do math. That's actually one of my programmings that I still have not reached my highest choice on that, because I know I have a PhD in quantum physics. I can do math, in the reality of outside of me and the programming I have. But the self-talk is, I can't do math. And I do all the things that actually
have to do with math.
Support that I can't do math. Like, I make math mistakes on simple math all the time. It drives my staff crazy. 2 plus 2, and I'll put a big old 5 there. and it's because I have that self-talk of I can't do math, that my subconscious says, oh, we have to write a 5. She can really do math, but we'll
agree with what she says.
We're following instructions, because the instructions to the computer is, I can't do math. If I actually wrote 4 there, that would corrupt the programming. So I have to reprogram. I am a math genius.
That's good. So that's level 1?
That's actually.
Are we moving to level 2?
The I am is level 4.
So now we're at level, okay.
So, but I was going to recap. I digressed here.
No, that's okay. I'm just keeping us to,
yes.
Okay, now what's level 2?
Level 1 is
I can't.
Negative agreement. Level 2 is the recognition of need to change. So I should lose weight, but I'm not good.
I should be able to do math.
I should be able to do math.
But I don't want to.
But I can't.
Okay.
I should be able to do math, but I can't. The third level is when we start getting into, shifting the programming, is the decision to change. So I choose my math genius. I choose to call in my math.
I'm well able to do math.
I no longer struggle with math.
I had easily.
Yeah, my math skills are on point every day, all day. Then the next level is level 4, and that's when we get into the I am statements. And I would say that it's also calling in your divineness in the I am. So I am a math genius. And people say, well, Cammie, you're not a math. I am a math genius. So what that is doing is giving the computer the
new instruction,
the actual outcome we're choosing.
Okay.
This is the end program. So I am a math genius is the end program. That's the destination. That's where we're going. That's what I'm choosing.
We are a global TV show where we have billions and billions of viewers.
Yes. So I am my math genius. I call in my math genius. I am a math genius. And so I have now started overriding this, I can't do math. I'm not good at math. I'm dumb. I need to ask my husband what 4 plus 4 is, and he can do math in his head like that. And see, I have that belief in him. So every time I ask him, hey, do my math for me, I'm reinforcing that he's the math genius.
And he is.
He is a math genius. But
you're reinforcing you need him to be math genius for you instead
so
of you accessing your genius.
Yes. So I'm saying that to actually show you that
that's good.
That we do the things, not just think them and say them, but then we behave in the way that would reinforce that program.
Which is the same way when I started talking about being married early, and then I was accessing him, and then it took us a while to get it.
Yes.
Got it. Go on.
So that's level 4. Now level 5 is where we get into the direct connection to God. And some people call it affirmations, but it's basically when you are declaring your oneness. That's where that world lives. And we won't get a whole lot into that, because people that actually have reached that level of self-talk probably won't be watching this. They're floating in the ethers with all their oneness and everything, and they just can't be bothered with. Just hang with me on that. I see.
I know. Keep going.
Hang with me.
I'm with you.
Because what's required right now is us to strip away. There's a lot to strip away in all this negative talk. To get there, there's a level of our consciousness that's there. I'm not going to argue that. But there's also a lot of muck that a big portion of our consciousness has to strip away. And this negative self-talk, if everybody was already there, then we wouldn't be, there would be nobody watching this conversation because it would just not resonate with anybody. But it resonates with 80 to 90% of people because that is the distortion that's put into our field right now. It's just there. You know, we can have a conversation about that, but
no, it's good.
It's there. So
I'm just thinking about Grace and the channel that we're on and everything. This is why we're so different.
Well, it's. I'm not saying
the channel, like our show is. No, not us.
No, I understand. No, I understand, but we're all saying the same thing, but saying it in a different way. And what I'm saying is that part of our consciousness is already there. We're already connected. That's this part of the thumb. What we're working out is down here so that we can stay connected to that. And I would say that this negative self-talk is keeping us from being connected all the way. And what I'm talking about is stripping the illusion away.
That's good.
Again, we're already blessed.
Yes.
It's just agreeing to it. And that's all this is a way for you to look at it in a way that you can actually agree to it.
And it's even abundance is not even blessings, because biblically, blessings and curses are all under the law. We are not in the law. We're not of the law. We're of love. And that is how we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, by understanding and receiving, which is, that's part of my jam. Part of my jam is taking the time to move you from religion to relationship, because a relationship is inside. And when you really see it, I'm telling you, when I saw it, and when I saw the practical part that made me go, oh, that makes sense. When I really saw it, I was like, wow, it's all right here. And it isn't that we don't need other people. I disagree with all that. But really, the solutions are inside. And because we abide. And those who don't have time to abide, we go to people like Dr. Cami to help us. Anyway, we're here to solve all the world's problems and yours. It's your new day. This is Dr. Cami, and I'm Donna, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining Your New Day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Cami Owen. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. Until soon.